All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makakadash, the Bohana to Zelde, and Apostle of the Timisto, who do well. Peace, blessing, salutation to Zaki, and more pushing this truth to the four winds of the heaven. It's your brother Yashaya Bani Yashara, and coming again to you. This is prophecy, man. And in today's lesson, we have a major breaking news, man, a major provocation of the US against Iran, man. You see, a major provocation. And over the past a few years, like a decade, we have seen the US and his major ally, Israel, they go into this small nation. They do what we call a precision airstrike. They kill either mercenary or actual soldiers of this small country like Iran, Iraq, Lebanon, Syria. You see, there was no serious retaliation from this small country, man, over this past decade. But now we are starting a new decade, man, and every time a year started with a major prophecy, man, or a major provocation. So again, this year, through the spirit of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, this is a very major provocation over the recent years. The US just bombed an airport and killed a top general, a top Iranian general, man. And this good day, if you were following the news concerning the algorithm for, you see this dude had a very solid stance against Israel and the US Army, and he was the one who came forward and said they have what you call over the past years there was an incident which happened on the Strait of Hormuz. Those series of events which happened on the Strait of Hormuz, it was this dude who you see who came forward and said we did that. The Revolutionary Guard, there was one instance they did, I have forgotten, and this dude, this general came forward because he is a top general of the Revolutionary Guard, man. You see, he came forward and said we did that in response to the America / Israel provocation on the Strait of Hormuz, and now we see the US killed him, and it seemed this was a calculated move. Why? Because I want to show you a series of events which led to the US killing this dude, man. You see, I'll start with this news. Actually, I did a video on this news. This news is about, you see, this news is about the US. They went over there in Iran and started to do as usual. They call it a precision strike on Iran progs. These progs, according to the US and the Israel, they say that Iran have progs in Iran, in Iraq, and Syria, Lebanon. They are training them as a militia group to come against Israel. You see, so over the past 2 years, the Israeli army and the US have been targeting Iran military installation in Iraq, in Yemen, and in Syria. You see, so as usual, the US Army was there doing his campaign, doing what you call precision airstrike on Iran. And what happened is, through the spirit of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai is the citizen of Iraq. You see, I may be mixing these names. These names are very similar. So bear with me. So as a citizen, a day-to-day a citizen of Iraq, they came forward protesting, going to the U.S. embassy, breaking in, man, trying to kill the U.S. official, man. And Donald Trump, he ordered the Marine to confront the Iranian in retaliation to that protest. You see, so yesterday killing was a calculated move, man. It was an order that didn't happen by coincidence, because this event, it was a series of small events which led to this major provocation. So I will start with this news here, and then I will go on to bring different news. Then we see we will go into scriptures and close this lesson. You see.
Television. We have urgent breaking news. The Pentagon just announced that they are deploying 100 U.S. Marines to secure the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. This is after pro-Iran.
So that's what I was telling you. So the U.S. Army bombed what we call Iran military installation in Iraq. So the people in Iraq, because these people all over the world, they are very tired of America, man. They are very tired. You see, they are protesting, they are chanting down Babylon, man. They are chanting the fall of America, man. That is a spirit which in this Ishmaelite, man. And this spirit will spread to the four corners of the earth, man. Why? Because the people are tired of America, man. See, so Donald DJ Trump, being proud, he ordered the Marine to confront the Iranian, which led to them killing that general, that top general, man. You see.
Protesters stormed the embassy, gained access through the main gate where cars go through, started throwing stones and breaking the windows of the U.S. embassy. Diplomats in the embassy ended up going into a safe room. U.S. troops fired tear gas to the crowd to disperse them. Diplomats were in the safe room, and probably still are, of the U.S. embassy. And also the U.S. ambassador for Iraq, he's not in the country, he's out on the vacation. This is regarding U.S. officials. This is what they reported, that he's not even there. But look, I want to make this 100% clear. We know why this is happening. First of all, George W. Bush, he wanted to go into Iraq, right? We went to Iraq for what? For weapons of mass destruction that never existed. We trusted the deep state, the FBI, the CIA, that everybody's trusting now regarding Russia for this information. We went in there, we toppled Saddam Hussein.
So all of these things which are going on, man, as a wicked elite of Esau have been playing chess, man. They have been playing chess, culminating this conflict. Their end goal is to bring a WW3 so that they can bring their new world order, man. But we know through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem that this is his left hand side doing his thing to bring into fruition as a vision, man, which was appointed from the ancient time, man. You see.
And we left a huge vacuum. Now Iran and their influence has taken over the country. There's pro-Iran militias. You know how many U.S. troops died in Iraq due to these Shia militias that were created? Okay, and this is what we're dealing with now. President Donald John Trump has just stated that Iran will be held fully accountable for this, but we know that this was going to happen because it's all part of the plan. The reason why we never really leave Syria, the reason why we never really leave the Middle East, first of all, the huge religious divide, Shia with Iran, other countries backed by who? Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Israel, the Sunni Muslim nation backed by who? The United States. Look, this is all leading not just to little proxy wars, but to a major war. We left the nuclear deal with Iran. We've seen so many issues in the Strait of Hormuz, so many tankers attacked. Look, this is just all going to lead to one final result, and that is World War III. Iran, China, and Russia were holding joint naval exercises. Okay, and they've been doing this to strengthen their alliance.
So all of this small event, man, all of this small event, a series of events will bring about the third war or WW3 or the war of Armageddon, man, which will happen over there in the Valley of Shaphat, man, in the Valley of Judgment, man, which is over there in the Persian Gulf, or in the place where it is covered by the Euphrates River. As the scripture tells you, the Euphrates River will dry up to prepare the way of the king of the east. You see? So from here, let's go and get the scripture, and then we'll come back. So this is the book of Revelation 9 and 12. It says, one war is past, and behold, there come 2 wars more hereafter. So this war is going into this major scale conflict, man, WW1, WW2, WW3. You see? So the second war is passed. We are preparing for the third war, man. Let's continue to the 13. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horn of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. So over there in the Middle East, in the countries which are covered by this great river Euphrates, that's where the war of Armageddon will take place, man. That's where, man, all hell will break loose, man. You see, and the 4 angels were loosened, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. The third part of men is this Edomite, man, the third part of men. You see, and the number of the army of the host were 200,000, and I hear the number of them. So right now, the spirit which is on the air right now is the spirit of WW3, man, which is the lap up of prophecy, man, which will usher in the kingdom of Israel, man, which will be ruled by the nation of Israel, you Negro, Latin, and Native America, man. You see, the kingdom of heaven is about you, and the Lord is preparing what we call the red carpet for the grand entrance of the Son of God, man, the manifestation of the sons of God. And that will go hand in hand with our Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, bringing judgment into this other nation, man. You see, and that judgment will come via a nuclear conflict, man. You see, which will happen over there in the Middle East, man, in the Valley of Shaphat, in the great river Euphrates. So that's what you are seeing right now. You are seeing this small twist and turn, which they are paving a way to that major conflict. That's why we call this the WW3 algorithm, or the algorithm of WW3. What is an algorithm? Algorithm is like it's like a program, you see. You enter certain code so that you can get certain result, man. It's like you are using a calculator and you enter an integration, a mathematical program. The calculator will integrate for you and bring an answer for you. No matter how you enter that mathematical problem, you will get the same answer. So that is the algorithm of WW3. So the algorithm for WW3, or the red carpet to WW3, it have a different twist and turn, or in another way we call them the culmination to WW3. The culmination or the build up to bring that a major and a fearful conflict. So from here, let's go and continue to look into this series of events which led to the happening of the major provocation of the American Air Army going over there and bombing an airport and killing this commander. So let's go and finish this news, and then we go to another news.
We think China's there because they all know the final result, which is going to be a huge war between the West, Israel, against Iran, Russia, and China. Iran's been preparing for this. They have a huge ballistic missile program. Okay, they're willing to launch whatever it takes. Their economy has crashed. And also Donald John Trump, this is how you know we're leading into a bigger war, has stated that he wants the Iraqis to rise up against who? The U.S. Government? Because we put in a U.S. puppet, basically, into Iraq. Rise up against the Iraqi government? No, we put them there. We put all these people there to rise up against who? To rise up against Iran. But he's stating this is propaganda to ready and condition the people for a major war with Iran. And this will absolutely happen as we're heading into the new year. Look, Donald John Trump knows this, and this is for certain that everybody needs to understand. That not going to be any more Benghazis. He's not going to look weak in the world. If these attacks occur, whether it was how it was reported or not, look, we have this agenda was put forward years ago, and we are not going to stop until this agenda is fulfilled. I mean, Netanyahu of Israel is not going to step down until this agenda is fulfilled, and that's destroying Iran, getting rid of the head of the snake, and pushing forward a Sunni-Israeli alliance throughout the Middle East.
There's also the Iraq people chanting down in America over there. So from here, let's go and look for another news. And the news I am going to bring to you, it is this here. It is say WW3 has begun. Iran is a final target. Top commander. Let's go and see. So, it is another news from AMTV. It is say WW3 has begun. Iran is the final target. Everybody know about that, man. Top commander general dead. USA at risk. So let's go and see what this good has to say.
TV media hard-hitting in your face. This is breaking and critical news. I want everybody to understand exactly what's happening. I'm following up on Christopher Green's video that he just uploaded regarding Syria commander who was just assassinated. First, I want everybody to understand who this person is. This is the most public, visible military Iran. Qasem Soleimani, he's the head of the Quds Force. He's been outspoken critic against the United States of America, obviously. He's close to Ayatollah Khamenei. This is such a high-level target, using airstrikes against the assassinated, that this absolutely could be the spark that rages a fire throughout the Middle East. Now, we know a few things.
So you see, this dude is telling this can spark a major provocation on the Middle East, you see. But we'll continue to monitor the situation, you see, because like I said, over the past few years, we have seen the USA Air Force and the Israeli Air Force, their pimps, they are going to this small country, bombing left and right, and there was no major retaliation. But we are waiting for this because this one is major provocation, man. That dude was high, man. He was holding a high office, man.
Clear that what have we seen? We've seen Iran pro militias attack and kill an American contractor and injure U.S. troops. Subsequently, the United States of America launched airstrikes against a pro-Iran militia. After that, these pro-Iran militia and protesters, they formed the U.S. Embassy. Now, this obviously was an attack on the United States because a U.S. Embassy, that territory, is United States territory. And now with this strike, I guess this is like killing and assassinating the Secretary of Defense of the United States of America. I want everybody to understand how huge this is. And Donald John Trump is not reporting about this. He's not really talking about it. This is mean that he's acting. We're deploying more troops. The Pentagon is saying that Iran is planning more attacks. Of course Iran is going to retaliate. This is the most high-level target, one of them, besides the Ayatollah or the president, that you can kill in Iran. I hope everybody understands how bad this is. Leading into 2020, honestly, what have we seen throughout years so far? We've seen attacks on oil tankers. We've seen attacks in the Strait of Hormuz. We've seen attacks on the Saudi Arabian oil fields. And everybody asks, why isn't Iran being attacked? We saw being attacked. There is a mystery behind it, and I'll tell you what that probably is. That Iran has nuclear weapons.
Now I remember this dude, he came forward and confirmed that what do we call it, the drone which was attacked, you see, that was the doing of Iran. So the US have to get back on him, and they put him to death. This will spark a major conflict or tension between these two nations, man. Lord, really.
Weapons, and this is why we haven't went in. You ever asked yourself all of the aggression that we haven't went in yet? Think about that for a moment. Now we know that they either developed them themselves, or Russia or China, another country, might have provided them with it. This is why we haven't attacked yet. This is why when they shot down a U.S. drone, President Donald Trump backed out of attacking the country. But now look at the situation that we're in. This is inevitable. We've seen military commanders and people for so long talk about Iran is on this list of countries that inevitably is going to be taken out due to economic warfare, oil warfare, territorial, and religious. Our alliance with Saudi Arabia and our alliance with Israel, this is going to be the most dominant presence. This is what they want to be in the Middle East. Israel, knowing that, look, we have 2020 elections coming up, and keep your eye on Israel. With these elections coming up, they don't know if President Donald John Trump is going to win. What they do know is that they have the support of the U.S. government now, and they have the support of the President of the United States. They're not going to wait. Keep your eye on Israel. They've already been attacking pro-Iran interests in Syria. But again, guys, this is so dangerous. What just happened? And what is going to inevitably lead to something much worse, given the fact that Russia, China have been preparing with Iran for some time? This can lead into World War III. Most people are too complacent to understand what exactly is happening. We have Hezbollah sleeper cells, which are, part of Iran, part of the Revolutionary Guards in Iran. Hezbollah sleeper cells in the United States and throughout all South America. But the mainstream media is going to tell you about this. They're going to distract you and hope you're complacent because they don't care. Guys, I'm going to keep you updated on this report.
So, he tell you you have Hezbollah sleeper cell. Hezbollah is part of the Revolutionary Guard. So you have the Revolutionary Guard, a sleeper cell in America, both North America and South America. You see? You see? So what do you see, man? It's going to be very interesting. And this war America will fight on its soil, so you people on America over there who have been cheering when you see America going to bomb Iran or Yemen or whatever, you eating your chicken feet over there, watching news, and you are cheering your army to go there and destroy other people's property, land, kill, rape, and murder. This time it is coming near your house, man. The Lord is gonna kick your ass. The Lord is gonna kick you Babylonian ass very hard, man. The Lord is gonna kick your ass very hard.
I'm going to provide you with all the updates regarding this, but make sure you try. Do what's right for you and your family. Do what's right for yourself right now. Make sure you're prepared, that you have food, water. Don't trust everyone.
So we have another news here from Hati America. It say mystery militia turn on US side with Iran. Let's go on into it.
We're going to begin, first of all, with the breaking news. Here's what we're learning right now. The information that we have coming into us is that there's been an attack in the airport. This is Baghdad International Airport. 2 cars burned, several rockets fired, 3 missiles have come down inside the airport perimeter, one of them in the air cargo terminal. The airport has now been shut down. Apparently, the Iraqi Prime Minister confirms the rocket attacks. This is crazy, given what's going on there right now, what has been going on in Baghdad, where the embassy was attacked earlier, and where, in fact, by the way, there have been protests against the embassy and against U.S. presence there. Those have been going on now for what? The better part of the last month? And we here have been reporting this to you. Most others haven't. The Trump administration is attacking a militia group with ties to Iran, accusing it of being behind all of this. Now, this is really almost weird. So this group is called the Kataib Hezbollah, K-A-T-A-E-B, Kataib Hezbollah. Ever heard of them? They seem to have come out of nowhere. Nonetheless,
so you see, you see this what we call sentiment, which has been building up for that past decade against the American troop shooting anybody they want, and the Israeli troop shooting anybody they want. So the people, or Ishmael as Ishmael, he will start going against the West, man. And this is gonna get out of control. Why? Because in the past, if you find a certain militia group, it is either backed by the left or the right, meaning either backed by America, and it is the ally, or the other side is Iran. But now this militia will pop up, man. People who are tired of America, man. People who want a revolution. So America will be fighting this war like a blind walking man. Have you ever seen a blind walking in a new path, man? They haven't passed even once. So that's what is going to happen.
Administration, Trump administration, and many in the media are now referring to it as one of the world's most dangerous terrorist organizations. Joining us now, correspondent Michelle Greenstein. She's been working on this story for us. This whole thing seems a little bit fishy. That it seems to me, I mean, I follow this as much as the next guy, that out of nowhere there's this organization being referred to as the most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. Who? What? Who are they?
That's a great question. Kataib Hezbollah, which translates to Brigades of the Party of God, is actually one of the major militias in Iraq. It came into being in 2003 during the U.S.-led war against Iraq. Actually, this group earned its reputation by planting roadside bombs to attack U.S. forces that had occupied the country. But it assumed its present form in 2007. So it used to be kind of this umbrella organization accounting for several of these groups until 2007, when it issued this statement announcing a merger. Now, after U.S. official withdrawal of troops from Iraq in 2011, Kataib Hezbollah actually sent fighters to defend Syria from ISIS. So they kind of switched from fighting these U.S. forces in Iraq to combating these U.S.-backed rebels in Iraq and Syria. Now, even though the exact number of people is not known, the group did in 2015 that it had 1,000 fighters in Aleppo fighting ISIS and defending the Assad government. Now, the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, which is a Washington-based think tank, estimates that it has between 1,000 and 3,000 members, but overall it's part of the PMF, which is the Popular Mobilization Forces, which is these groups of militias that Iran does in part actually arm and train, which was formally established in 2014 in response to the ISIS. Now that's important because it actually was Iraqis being urged to take up arms against ISIS, which had, of course, started to take over large parts of Iraq and Syria.
This thing has just blown up over the last 48 hours, and apparently it's not as simple as it sounds. The corporate media is making it like just out of the blue, this group just decided to attack the U.S. There was something that preceded that, right?
Well, let's talk talk about the timeline here. At first, we had this attack on the U.S. contractor, right, which the U.S. claims that Kataib Hezbollah was behind, although the U.S. hasn't brought any intelligence to back claims yet. As we know, Scott Ritt is probably going to give us a little bit more information on that as he's coming on later in the show. But then in response to that, on Sunday, December 29th, Washington actually conducted these airstrikes against Iraq and Syria, killing at least 24 people. And the Pentagon says that these 5 sites of attacks were against Kataib Hezbollah. Now, Iraq denounced this, right? They said it's a violation of their sovereignty and actually vowed to revise its relations with the EU. Iran also called it a clear of terrorism. And then on the other hand, we had people like Benjamin Netanyahu actually congratulating Mike Pompeo on this incident. But what followed was a lot of anti-U.S. public outrage. And we had the siege on this U.S. embassy in Iraq, where hundreds of protesters in Baghdad broke into the U.S. embassy compound. They broke into the gate, and they were shouting things like America is an aggressor, down, down USA, no, no Trump, and even burning U.S. flags, which is why it's interesting that we have members of the corporate press saying that this is not a sign of anti-Americanism, but actually it's a sign of Iran's influence in the region, even though they're chanting things like down, down USA.
You're absolutely right. Monitoring the media today, and even on some of the cable networks, they've ignored everything that's gone into the story, all the context all together. Good stuff, Michelle.
So from here, let's go and finish one news. That news will show you how Iran responded. How Iran vowed to respond, and they have started to respond. So
Iran's 14 dozen airstrikes. It has launched its fighter jet in response to the U.S. airstrikes which killed leader Qasem Soleimani, according to country state television.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Breaking News TV. We are here again with another breaking news.
The fighter jet launch, which has sparked renewed fears of World War III, has come following the U.S. strike ordered by Trump which killed a key Iranian military leader in Baghdad. The airstrike killed General Qasem Soleimani in an attack heightening tensions between Washington and Tehran. Quoting Iranian state television, NBC News correspondent Ali Arouzi tweeted, Iranian F-14 fighters jets maneuvering on the western skies and on alert and patrol. State TV. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif said on Twitter, the U.S. bears responsibility for all consequences of its rogue adventurism. Washington confirmed that U.S. forces had killed the general. They claimed that the general approved the attacks at the U.S. embassy in Baghdad earlier this week. They said in a statement, this strike was aimed at deterring future Iranian attack plans. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said his death was decisive against Washington and Donald Trump. He said on state television, Soleimani's martyrdom will make Iran more decisive to resist America's expansionism and defend our Islamic values. With no doubt, Iran and other freedom-seeking countries in the region will take his revenge. The U.S. thought that the Major General Qasem Soleimani was behind the attacks on the U.S. In 2018, he was a part of a video warning Trump, I'm telling you Mr. Trump the gambler, I'm telling you, know that we are close to you in the place you don't think we are. You will start the war but we will end it. Syria has condemned the killing and has called it the treacherous, criminal American aggression.
Don't forget to like our video and...
So, what you have seen is this series of what we call this is series of attack. First, the American attacking inside Iran, and the Iranian people responding against that attack in the militia. Then the US killed this general. Now we are seeing the Iran fighter jet scrambling the western sky. You see the US airstrike. You see after the US airstrike. So what does this mean? This mean what you see, man, is light around the corner, man. And this decade we will see more severe news, man, more major provocation. So this new year have started this so-called new year have started in a style. That's why the Apostle Taras, through the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, he named this year the year of prophecy, man. So we expect to see a more and a major provocation, a great milestone as far as the WW3 is concerned. So let's go and see a few scriptures and we'll close this out. So this is the book of Joel 3 and verse 2. And I will also against all nation, and I bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Jehoshaphat, and the valley of judgment. And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, and whom they have scattered among the nation and departed my land. And they cast lot for my people, and they have given a boy for a harlot, and a soldier girl for wine, that they might drink. So let's jump down. Verse 9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles. Proclaim how, man? Prophesizing, man. Prepare war and wake up the mighty men, and let all men of war draw nigh. So let all men of war draw nigh, meaning what? This is culmination of what you see. This algorithm of what you see. So the Lord is gathering all the mighty men over there in the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. The scripture tell you, let them come up and beat your portion into swords, man. What does this mean? This means now it is not a time to pro, man. That's why you are seeing the economy is going down, man, because this is not time to pro. What is the meaning of pro, man? To produce and to grind. And this is not the time of myth. This is time of turning a portion into sword. And you have these people in America, they are very sentimental against their country, and because they are spending more money on the military than on the welfare of the people. They don't know that this is a time to turn a portion into sword, man. You see, and you are putting hook into spear, and let the weak say I am strong. That's why I started by telling you, or by saying that over the past like 5 years, going to 10 years, the Israel and the America have been bombing this small country and this weak nation. And there was no any remarkable retaliation from them. But the scripture are telling you the weak, we one day say we are strong. What does that mean? It simply means they are going to respond very severely. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen, and this kill that doctrine that the Lord will save the heathen. No. Assemble yourself and come, all ye heathen. Come to do what? Had to be judgment, a lot of judgment. And gather yourself together around about hither, cause thy mighty one to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I seek to judge the heathen round about. So the Lord is going to bring a heavy judgment to the heathen. You see, we are hot, a fire, a war 3, and that will be fire, will be fought by fire. Let's suppose that. So this is the book of Isaiah 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire. Going back to the chariot of Yahweh Hashem and the Mison, and they will with his chariot like a whirlwind, to render his anger, his fury, and his rebuke with the flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead all of flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall be men. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh and the abomination, the Lord's mouth shall be, and the mouth shall be consumed together, says the Lord. Verse 18, for I know as they walk in the south, it shall come that I will gather all nations, and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And the goal of one of the goal of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is severe judgment. Mashapat. See? So let's go on. So this is the book of Isaiah 9 and 5. For every bet of a warrior is with confused noise, and the garment loaded in blood. But this shall be with burning and the fuel of fire. You see? So this will be with the burning, meaning what is the instrument which will be used to fight you. You see, we bring fire, man, and this fire will burn like an oven, like the scripture tells you. It's not like a little fire coming from a tank or a fighter jet. This is massive fire, man, a lake of fire. You see, this weapon will cause what we call the lake of fire, man, and cause the second death. You see, so from here, let's go to second Ezra. So this is second Ezra 15 and 20. And behold, it says, Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and the Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the sins that they have done to them. So that's what's going on, man. The Lord is turning these kings, man, these great men, one against one another. You see, so that he can bring judgment on this heathen, like we read from the previous prophecy, man. You see, I will be jumping to verse 23. The fire is gone forth from his last, man, and hath consumed the foundation of the earth, and the filmer like the straw that is kindled, man. So this is talking about the lake of fire, man. So this heathen, man, and you too said they will be burned like a straw, man, like stubble, man. So verse 24, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandment, man, says the Lord. So this is going to you too said, man, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile and not my sanctuary. So for you brothers who try to the best of your ability to depart from the ways of this society, man, you see, that scripture 25 is for you. You see, jumping verse 27, for now as a plague come upon the whole earth, and the hot among the major plague, man, nuclear missiles, man. Going back to Psalms 91, you shall remain in them, for Yahweh shall not deliver you, because you have sinned against him. Verse 28, behold an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, man. So the prophet Ezra, he saw, you see in his vision, man, whereas the nation of the dragon of Arabia, going back to this Ishmaelite, that's what you are seeing right now. It shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. You see, the third earth of the Canaanian. So you have the dragon of Arabia and the Canaanian, and going back to this Elamite, man, raging lust shall go forth as the wild boar of the wood, and with great power they shall come. And so everybody now here on earth, he thinks that the Iranians, the Arabs, they don't have any power, man. it will come to their surprise that the West will be losing this war, man, in the coming war, and the joint battle of them, and they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyria. As we are watching the news, that dude from AMTV, he was telling you about the sleeper cell, man, the Hezbollah. They are there in America, both South and North America, man. So those dudes, they are waiting, man. They are waiting to invade America. That's why the scripture tells you they shall waste a portion of the land of Assyria. So this will come via intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. This nation will shoot missiles from one continent to another, and the main target will be over there in America. So those intercontinental ballistic missiles will waste a portion of the land of the Assyria. So the scripture telling you at the climax of what you see, because we are reading all of this, that is going to what you see, man. As the Arab coming with many chariots, and the Canaanian coming with many chariots, and at the end of this we saw they shall waste a portion of the land of Assyria. So at the climax of what you see, this nation will shoot missiles on the land of the Assyria, which means America, because America have many names, man. Egypt, Babylon, Syria, and Nineveh, you see, and all of that, man. Verse 31, and then shall the dragon have the upper hand, man. So the Ishmael will have an upper hand in this war, which many people don't see that coming, man. That's why we like to go into history, like the war which happened in 2006. The Israeli government, they wanted to expand their territory toward Lebanon, and the people of Lebanon, the Ishmaelites over there, they formed a group to go against the Israeli army, and they are sophisticated people, and they won that war. Actually, they did what we call guerrilla warfare, man. And they won that war against Israel. At that time, the whole world was waiting for Israel to wipe Lebanon off the map, man. But the Lord, man, he raised the standard against this Israeli by using people, man. That's where Hezbollah originated, man. See, that group of people in Lebanon which came against the Israeli government, it became a huge force, man, known as Hezbollah. So, hey, man, when it came to war, you really don't know what will turn out, man. But the prophet know what will turn to be, man. So we know the Ishmaelites will become victor in this war. You see, they will have an upper hand, which will lead to this nation destroying America with nuclear missiles, man, turning America into a lake of fire. And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power, persecuting them, so this Edomites, they will be like a chess law, man, as the scripture tells you, man. They will be like a chess law. You see, they will be like a chess law. Because all of this nation will be round about as a whole, man. You see. So let's go to the book of Obadiah. So this is the book of Obadiah 1:1, the vision of Obadiah that says, the Lord God Yahweh concerning Edom, we have heard a lamb from the Lord, and an ambassador is standing among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So all of this nation will rise against the whole in battle, man. You see, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, as thou art greatly despised. So the air which is out of there, man, it is hate against America, and that will lead to the nation coming together to stop America, man. You see, to stop America, and this brings me to this scripture. You see, this brings me to this scripture, man. You see, give me a second. So that brings me into this scripture, Jeremiah 15:23. How is the ham of the earth of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? You see? How is the ham of the earth cut asunder? So a lot of people don't expect one day America to be cut asunder, man. But this is well documented in the scriptures, man. You see, this is well documented in the ancient past, man, which is this is prophecy, man. That is the ham of the earth will be cut asunder. So from there, let me finish with one news, and then we close up. The network is kind of slow, but WW3 is reporting Iranian gazer at UN official in Tehran in response to killing of Quds force Suleiman. So the Iranians are rallying against the Americans, man. You see, so that's what is going on, man. And we continue watching for more news. I hope you brothers are edified. Kahalali ya hawa Bahashem na Hawashai, Bahashem na Kaka Dash, Bwana Kizael and Apostle Wilson. Peace, blessing, salvation to that more pushing these truths to the whole winds of the heaven. I hope you brothers are edified. Shalom.